Hello, I'm Vara,
And I'm Roxy.
and you're listening to VCR. Hey, Roxy, how are you?
Hello, I am tired.
You're tired. Look at you all elegant with your big old bright earrings and oh,
Mhm.
how cute.
My work attire.
Yes, it looks good. It looks like it's working on you. Ha 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 ha
Ha,
ha.
ha, that's terrible.
So anyway, speaking of terrible, uh, let's talk about some terrible movies we grew up with. So today we want to jump into movies that probably and definitely traumatized us as kids or fun things like that. Um, I don't think that's so much an issue for modern day kids because there's so many helicopter parents and you know regulations about what you can show kids and all that. But when I was growing up,
Yeah, that's
the,
crazy. Yeah.
the concept of filters for that was not a thing. So,
We're the
uh,
reason there are filters now.
yeah, they were the reason we don't have filters and the reason things don't bother us the way they bother everybody else. Uh,
Mhm.
but let's jump into it. So, what kind of Roxy, if I had to ask you, what movie traumatized you as a child?
Funnily enough, one of my favorite horror movies traumatized the shit out of me.
Which was
The Nightmare on Elm Street,
okay.
Part 3.
hmm Specifically.
Yeah, specifically, that movie traumatized me, but it is my favorite horror
hmm
movie. So
Wow, wow.
that one gave me nightmares for a while.
I would imagine. I think there's a lot of different movies that traumatize me. Oh, Amara wants to join.
I
Hey,
see her. I'm like,
Amara.
oh, Mara.
Are you joining in? You want to be part of the podcast? So, I had all kinds of movies that were very dark and probably not meant for us to see, but they were categorized as children's movies. So let's start this off with one of my favorites, Watership Down. Did you ever see Watership Down? Okay.
No.
Watership Down is an insanely dark animated movie. And it's about these colony of rabbits, right? And they're going through, I guess, different stages until they find their own way. And they keep coming across these different colonies. And the colonies kind of run themselves in different ways. Like they come across this Unitarian kind of colony. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Unitarian, it's this concept that like it's all for the greater good. So whatever happens to like maybe one, it's for the greater good, you know. So they come across this one colony and they're invited to join. They're welcomed and they're given all this food and they can do whatever they want. But then they notice why are there so many burrows but not enough rabbits? And so they couldn't figure that out. And what was happening is the reason that they're inviting them in is A, they didn't have enough, and B, they didn't have enough rabbits. And B, the other issue was that rabbits were being killed off at the top because there's a development not that far away. So they had when this fresh these our friends here are describing in detail, mind you, this is a kids' movie, about one of their friends who was caught in a snare and how it's choking him to death. And then they brought it to the attention of the colony, and the colony just glazed over it, like, well, that's what's supposed to happen. So they were just letting them die for what they believed was the greater good. He died so one of the others didn't have to. So it was kind of this weird thing. And then they get to this other colony where it was extremely brutal and it was a dictatorship colony. And where the women, they had too many is part of the issue because they were forcing, and no joke, this is a child's cartoon, okay? So they show you the concept of where they have these female rabbits all lined in burrows, and soldier rabbits would just go in and out, one after another, because they're breeding to create a bigger colony.
Mm.
And there was no, and they explained there's no choice. We don't have a choice. So then, of course, our good rabbits, they do this escape, and of course the dictator rabbits are after them and all this other stuff. But it was very brutal because you could see they would beat each other up and attack each other. And mind you, this is a kid's one. And then finally they come to the end where it's their own colony and they do things right and peacefully and um in a more democratic kind of way. So really that's what this is leading to. But it was a brutal movie for a child's movie. So it's called Watership Down, if anyone wants to show that piece of joy to your kids. That was,
Yeah, it sounds like something I
you
want
know,
to
it's
show a little
and
one. Sure.
here's the weird thing. It was a famous children's book too. I
Ah.
was like, I don't know what yeah, I just don't know. But it was you know, somehow that's a child's story, and that's the kind of children's story that I grew up with. Um, Another one that was really disturbing, very dark. I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember The Secret of Nim?
Yes.
That was very dark, very, very disturbing.
Hmm.
It had some great voice actors in it, but that was a very dark, dark animated series that probably did traumatize a lot of kids because it was about mice that had been experimented on.
Hmm.
And that was a secret of Nim. Nim was actually the name of the laboratory. And the mice and rats that they were injecting them, and it was changing their genetics, their molecules, and all this. And the thing is, when they're explaining the secret of NIM, they start showing the procedures that the scientists are grabbing them and injecting them, and then you see this extremely painful sequence of the rat like in pain, like absolute pain, and it's showing you all these molecules like exploding in them, and it was like, what the hell? But it was changing them in this way. I'm not going to say for the better, but it changed them to where they became highly intelligent and they were able to start reading and writing and they were able to start communicating. So, but as humans, and so well, as humans do. So it made them smarter. So they were able to escape and it becomes this that's the secret of Nim, right? So they escape, they start their own societies and all this. But the other depressing thing is that you have a mom mouse and she has three kids because her husband died trying to protect one of the colonies. And they explain this to you. And the issue is they have to move their house, but they can't move it because her son is extremely sick. And if they move, the son could die, right? So then it's moving day because the whole farm's about to get plowed down. Well, their house is about to get plowed down because of the tractor. That's what it is that they have a house in a field. The tractor's going to run over their house and kill them all. Um, Something weird happens. It's either starts raining and flooding or something happens and their house starts to sink. And then you see this scene of the kids in the house and it's sinking and they're drowning in mud. And mind you, again, delightful child story. That's
Yeah.
just a delightful child's story. Don't get me started on the owl. Do you remember the great
No,
owl?
I don't
Oh
remember
my.
the owl.
The owl was voiced by John Huston, I believe, who was Angelica Houston's father. And but the owl, I believe, is one of the ones who holds the secret of Nim and doesn't eat the mice. But there's this really creepy, scary looking owl, and he, of course, she's scared to go see him because, of course, owls eat mice. And it was just this really traumatic thing. But anyway, kids are drowning, and she has this necklace that apparently has some type of power to it that was also part of Nim. And she was able to use it to telepathically lift the house out the mud and move the house and save everybody. It's been forever since I've seen that movie, but let me tell you, creepy as fuck and traumatic. Watership Down, Secret of Nim, dark, creepy ass
True.
movies that just like totally traumatize you. But you think, oh, it's a cartoon. It's all good, it was not.
Like, if it's one thing the cartoons have taught me is they will make you cry. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
And look at Up. That movie, I cried so damn hard. I was like, this is for kids. Why?
And you were an adult when you saw that, weren't you? Yeah.
Yes.
So Up
I
was,
was a
yeah,
grown ass woman.
it was, and it's traumatizing the things that they show you and everything. So, but yeah, those things. Now, I also remember doing things that I shouldn't have done as a child, and watching movies I probably shouldn't have watched
Yeah.
as a
That
child.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. So my thing is, yeah, okay. So yours was Nightmare on Elm Street. Why don't you explain how you ended up getting sucked into that before I explain mine?
I was sneak watching it. I wasn't supposed to be watching it, but I was sneak watching it.
Mm,
My
mm.
aunts and uncles were watching it in the living room at my grandmother's house, and I was kind of like peeking like around the couch and over the couch, like watching it.
Wow. Okay.
Traumatized myself watching that movie.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it's
Oh my.
so funny because it's like the part that's one of my favorite scenes is like the part that traumatized the shit out of me and I had nightmares about.
That was it. That was what it
Yeah.
was. Oh God. I want to say so one of the ones that I did something very similar with was very much The Exorcist. So
Mm-hmm.
this is how that came about. The Exorcist scared the living shit out of me as a child. And who thought that this was a great idea back in the 80s? I don't know. But Hurricane Alicia had hit Houston.
Uh-huh.
Now, before it hit, Channel 20, which back in the day was called 20 Vision, was broadcasting The Exorcist on TV. And so I'm there watching it, unknown to my parents, scared the piss
Not
out of me.
storming like crazy
And then
outside
you
and you're
have
watching that.
you have a hurricane, and then you have The Exorcist. I must have slept. I don't know how long I slept with my parents, but I was terrified and slept with my parents. I was so terrified. I had crosses stationed on all four sections of my bed. I was like, that thing was the most horrific thing I ever saw as a child. But I'm a child and I'm watching this, and I had no business watching it, but that's what
Yeah.
happens.
My
And
grandmother had to sleep with me for like I think a couple months until I got over it.
right, it's a problem, it really is a problem. And it's one of those things where like, that I did that to myself.
Yeah.
So, what can you do? What can you say? What other movies may have traumatized you growing up?
Land Before Time.
Oh my God, yes.
That movie,
That,
again, that child's movie that just made me cry.
yes. I mean, that
To
was
this day, I can't watch that movie without crying.
that is, yes, that is so true. That is so, I mean, that whole thing, if you've never seen Land Before Time, or if you're too young and you don't know what it is,
Go watch it.
it's, yeah, you may not want to. That thing was so brutal. It's these group of dinosaurs, and they're having to move to this new land, right? And there's this brontosaurus, mother brontosaurus, who has a baby named Littlefoot. And we all fall in love with Littlefoot. He's the
Hmm.
star of the show. So he's this little baby brontosaurus, and out of nowhere, the a T-Rex attacks that they all refer to as shark tooth.
Mm-hmm. Sharp
And
tooth.
yeah, it was shark tooth, right?
Sharp.
Sharp, not shark. Okay, sharp tooth. So, what ends up happening is that of course the Tyrannosaurus Rex wins and kills the mom. And then we're one of these things where oh my God, the mom died. It's one of these movies that if you watch
Like
it,
Bambi.
yeah, you if you watch it, you really fucking want to go call your mom and hug
Yeah.
your mom because then they get separated during the Great Migration to the new lands, and so Littlefoot and his little team of misfits are trying to find Littlefoot's grandparents.
I think they're trying to find all of their parents, aren't they?
Yes,
Because
they
like some
are.
kind
They
of earthquake happens and the
yeah,
kids get separated from the adults.
yes, yes. And it was really, really depressing as fuck. It really was. It was so fucking depressing. Um, Another one, and you hit on it, Bambi. Bambi traumatized a lot of people
Hmm.
because, here Bambi is with his mom and just enjoying life, and all of a sudden, hunters came, shot Bambi's mom. We all
Took
know
her
how that
out on just
ended.
while they were getting breakfast.
Yeah, and then here comes the other part. Then there's a fire, a massive
Oh,
forest
yeah.
fire. And I was like, Bambi just cannot catch a break,
No, he cannot. Poor
You
baby.
know, poor baby. But it was very traumatic because, Bambi's mom dies, fucking Land Before Time, the mom dies, Watership Down, everyone's getting brutalized in that one. You got all these movies that are just like, damn. How did we make it out of this?
You know what
Because
I'm
all those
saying?
things were psychologically traumatizing, those.
Okay, what about Never-Ending Story
Oh,
with the horse?
yes, Never Ending Story was a lot of people don't think about this. Never Ending Story was really sad. The horse was a terrible thing. So you have your main hero, and he has his best
Mm-hmm.
friend, which is this horse, and the horse dies in the swamp of sadness. It literally fucking drowns in front of you, and you see this kid screaming at the top of his lungs trying to save his best friend, and they're dead. And then later on, you find out all of his friends that are kind of on this adventure with him end up getting killed too because there's this thing out there called the nothing. And the nothing comes in and destroys everything and swoops up all of his friends and everyone that he knows. And in the end, he has to kill this a wolf, a giant wolf, which we don't really know his name that I can remember, but he refers to himself as the power behind the nothing, and he ends up killing him, and then he has to save the empress or the princess. It was the empress, right?
I think so.
Okay. And he has to give her a name for some stupid reason.
That's the
Eh,
only way to save them,
yes, and so he gives him
to
a
say
name
her
that's
name.
yes, because the only thing left is this grain of sand of Neverland.
What
And
the hell was her name?
I-
He screams it, but I never have been able to make out what the fuck he says.
let's find out, shall we?
I'm like, I've never been able to make out what he says her name is.
Let's ask our friend ChatGPT. Um, what is the name of the
Mhm.
princess or the empress in the never-ending story? What does he name her? You gotta love modern ChatGPT.
Right?
The childlike empress was portrayed by Don't Care. Mm. The name is Moonchild.
Okay.
No, okay, hold on. Let me read it. Fun fact. In the never-ending story, the ruler of Fantasia is called the childlike empress. At the end of the story, she asks Bastion, not Sebastian, Bastion, to give her a new name in the film. Bastion runs to the window and shouts, Moonchild.
Okay. Sure.
So the new name he gives to the childlike princess.
Is Moonchild.
Oh my God, that is so stupid.
Mm.
Wow. Talk
Okay.
about a letdown, right?
Eh,
I mean, call her Sarah or something.
Sarah. Can you imagine him going,
Sarah. Actually, that sounds way better. Running up to the window, all dramatic, going, Sarah, instead of Moonchild. It sounds like some like California surfer dude would be like, Moonchild, like, oh my
oh my
God.
gosh.
That's what I'm hearing now. And like Sarah would have been way better. And then they could have gotten Hall and Oates involved and played that song Sarah Smile,
Oh
like
gosh.
so many different directions you could have gone with that. But alas, I did not direct the movie, so what do I know? Or write it, but it was depressing. That was really traumatizing. Until it fixes itself in the end. But until then, it's a pretty traumatic movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Another one. Okay, so a couple other ones. I don't know if you're going to agree with this. Return to Oz. Did you ever see it? That was
I
creepy.
did when I was younger.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was pretty
It's
creepy.
actually on Netflix right now. It's about to leave.
Is it? I'm
Hmm.
gonna have to check that out. Return to Oz. Okay. I didn't
Oh
realize that.
no, 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 no. I don't know. No, sorry, I was thinking something else. The Wiz. The Wiz is on Netflix.
Why do you let me down like that? Why? Just why? Anyway, so yeah, Return to Oz was super creepy. Because sadly it's about Dorothy being sent to
Going
an
back.
insane asylum, and they're about to do shock therapy on her. But it was also rumored that the doctor believed her and was going to do it to try to find these ruby slippers. But there's different things on that. But that was creepy. The Wheelers in that were super creepy, who were the guards to the headless queen type of situation.
Hold on. I'm gonna see if where it's streaming.
Hmm.
And you can watch it on Disney Plus, YouTube, Google, Apple, Fandango, or Amazon Prime.
Here's one for you.
And I do remember that one. I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh yeah. Now I remember that one.
Here's one. Don't start crying. Don't cry, Roxy,
I-
my girl.
It's so funny that movie is such a great movie. Such a great movie. But it's like there are like the younger generation is discovering that movie now, and they're like the parents are videoing their kids watching it. I can't even hear that scene without getting a lump in my throat, and I want to
Yep.
cry. I'm
Because he dies because he gets stung by bees. And I was like,
he's
oh.
laughing. We can't see what that is. Oh my God. Ugh. I'm gonna cry right now just saying
Oh my
it.
God.
That movie fucked me up.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The Gene Wilder version was actually considered pretty damn creepy growing up
You're
because
the
of
Oompa Loompas.
yes, the Oompa Loompas. But like I think a lot of people freak out like when they're getting to their little chocolate land, that weird, bizarre, psychedelic tunnel
Mm,
thing where everything's going faster and the lights are going off. I'm talking about the Gene Wilder version, not the Johnny Depp version
no, yeah.
or any other version that came after that. Only the Gene Wilder version, the original,
When the girl turns into the blueberry.
Yes, that was considered a very creepy movie and a very odd movie. But that scene alone where they're traveling to get to Wonka's factory through the chocolate river
Uh-huh.
freaked a lot of people out. And then the fact that they almost got decapitated because they ate candy was maybe a
Well,
little
know,
a little much. They shouldn't have been eating it. That's all I'm gonna say. They shouldn't have eaten it.
it'll
That's
teach
just
you
me.
to touch things that don't belong to
I mean,
you.
seriously, seriously. Man told you not to fuck with it.
And
You fucked
so,
with it, and you were
and then
about to
you,
find
yeah,
out.
so
Hmm.
so that's what you get.
Yeah. So true. Another one, kind of, I didn't think about this one because I think I was a little bit older. Didn't really affect me, but I believe that I can see how it can be totally creepy as fuck. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, I loved that movie, but I could definitely see how that movie would be creepy.
Yes, the animation in it alone is kind of creepy. But here's the other thing, the dip. Like they actually show cartoon characters being executed and killed by putting them like that shoe,
Like
that
in
poor little
acid.
shoe. Yeah, that poor little shoe that
I
gets he
know.
gets put in there and erased and it's dip. And here's a funny thing. That's actually a real thing. Like a lot of people don't do this. So back in the day, like in order to erase the mistakes you made when drawing on that on the film, so let's say you drew a cartoon and the cartoon came out a little funky, you would dip it in like this acetone type of thing. That way it cleared it off. So it erased it. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why it was so much of an issue for them. But this is also why the judge is wearing the gloves because we don't find out until the end the judge himself is a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why he wears the gloves because he can't touch it because it'll do the same thing to him. So it's been a it was pretty traumatizing. And the fact that the judge melts to death right in front of you
Is
too.
wild.
Yeah, craziness. So crazy. Anyway, but I digress, but it did give us Jessica Rabbit. And who can be angry at that? Like,
Yeah, seriously, who could be mad?
I'm not.
I'm
I'm
definitely
totally
not.
not.
Fucking
God.
love her.
Oh my God, I love her. I love her more. And then Kathleen Turner voicing Jessica Rabbit. Oh,
Mm.
just perfect. Absolutely perfect. I'm gonna give you a choice. Roxy, pick between numbers one through nine. Can't
Pick
do
a
10 because
number.
yeah, pick any number one through nine.
8.
Eight. Oh, eight is a good one, kind of. Jaws.
Ooh.
Jaws did traumatize a lot of people.
You know what, yeah?
Hmm.
Like when I was a kid, I had this irrational fear that if deep into the pool was gonna open up and a shark was gonna come out.
That's imaginative. I'm gonna go with that's
Very,
imaginative.
very.
My fear was going to Galveston and getting in the water because a
I'm
shark was
still
going to eat
scared.
my ass. And
I
that's
don't go in
entirely
water I can't
possible
see
in
for that
Galveston.
reason.
And see, nowadays, you don't have to worry about sharks now. You got to worry about flesh-eating bacteria,
Yeah.
other things in Galveston. That might actually make the option of a shark look better. All right, I'm gonna throw one last one out there. One last one. And tell me your thoughts, Roxy. Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I could see how that would be scary.
Large Marge
Mm-hmm.
specifically
Mm-hmm.
scared the crap out of a lot of people. I mean, Large Marge was the thing that did it. And that was pretty scary and creepy. I don't know what the hell made them decide to do that for a kids film, but oh my God. Large Marge
I'm like, was
scared.
that supposed to be a kid's film?
You know, I wonder. But yeah, because Pee-wee's Big Adventure was based on Pee-wee's play
I thought the
wasn't it
Playhouse came no, Playhouse came after
maybe
Big Adventure.
maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. But you're still associating something like that with what becomes a kids show. And so that scared the crap out of a lot of people. Um Such a trip. But such a trip. But let's say out there you have a movie that traumatized you as a child that maybe we totally overlooked here on the VCR show, which I doubt, but maybe we did. Uh, Share that with us to our email to the VCR show at gmail.com or our social medias and the website, the VCR.com. And you can hit up Roxy and share all your childhood traumas with her over
We
a
could trauma
pint,
bond
at here for the World Cup, at her social medias, which are.
on Facebook at Roxy Perez Curvy Model, on Instagram at PopRocks428, and on TikTok at The Pop Rocks. And Pop Rocks is spelled POPROXX.
And as always, I'm Vara.
And I'm Roxy.
And you've been listening to VCR.
Yeah.
Bye. You have been listening to VCR, creative content by Richard Christopher Vara and Roxy Perez. Logo by Richard Christopher Vara with assistance from Annie Ramirez. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach us at thevcrshow@gmail.com or our social medias at Instagram and Twitter at the VCR Show. And you can also check out our content at thevcrshow.com. The show song is Addict by Nefex, instrumental, and you can find them on YouTube Music Library.